Welcome to the CraftsWombman channel.
Okay, welcome to Womb Wellness Calls. Today we have on the line Sister Tracey R. Bryant, and she is a yoni steam practitioner, let me see, Reiki. Sorry, I need to get to that screen. I don't see. A good old womb wellness educator. Okay, so Miss Tracey Bryant, can you tell us? You know, I met you during the yoni steam ceremony or certification program in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I am Tracey Bryant. I am a priestess, herbalist, yoni steam practitioner, womb wellness educator, sexual empowerment coach, and love connoisseur. I'm also known as the yoni alchemist. See, healing is mind, body, and soul, so you want to definitely deal with all three components. You just don't want to deal with the physical. So the tea, along with the, like I said, the high alkaline diet, also helps to remove fibroids. So yes, and it's just, yes, I can hear you now. Could you hear me?
Okay, now I can. I don't know what happened there, but
yeah, and then the call dropped. I kept saying hello, hello.
Yeah, I'm on a landline phone because I wanted to avoid all that dropping stuff. But okay, so can you tell me, how did you get started on your womb journey? That's what I like to call it.
Okay. My womb journey started, I'm a sexual empowerment coach, so I'm also the owner of Honey Love Romance and Pleasure Parties. And I had a storefront for close to a little over 8 years. And in my storefront, it was a place where women could come and be comfortable about their sexuality. So they can come, and we had classes and events and workshops, and it was a place where you can, get lingerie and romance products and things to help to spice up your relationship. But most of all, it was a place where women just felt really comfortable speaking about sexuality in a very safe and free zone. Now, with that, I found that even though we were having these pleasure parties and we were having fun and we were talking about, the products that help to stimulate and enhance lovemaking, we were getting into the pain of sexuality. So there's a pleasure component, but there's also a pain, because 4 out of 6 women are sexually violated and sexually abused. So I was dealing with women who were coming, and they needed a place to vent where they felt comfortable to vent. They were having blockages and issues with their husbands, and they were really trying to make relationships work, or they were just trying to have a relationship with themselves and couldn't figure out what was going on. So me also being a sexual abuse survivor, I went into classes at the Rape Crisis Outreach in my community. And I became a rape crisis counselor, outreach worker, and volunteer, so that I can understand what sexual abuse is from a very deep and causal level, not the symptoms, not the symptoms. I wanted to go to the core of it. So when these women came to me, I would have a better understanding. I can share information and resources so that they can get help and start their healing process. But in order to do that, I had to work on my own stuff.
Yeah,
I couldn't just go out and just help sisters, and I had my own baggage and stuff I was carrying. I knew about the pleasure part, but I had to really tap into the pain in my own life, in my own womb story. So with that, I found out about womb health and healing. Of course, I had gotten Queen of Fool's Sacred Woman book back in 2002. So we had did that Sacred Woman thing way back then. So I already knew about womb health and healing. But then I had got turned on to Thema Azizwe Surway. And I got turned on her in the womb sauna. So I started kind of following her thing. We started talking and, really cool sister. But then there were some classes coming up in Atlanta for yoni steaming and womb health with the Yoni Steam Institute with FIBROIDS. And that's both of our mentor and teacher. So then that's how we met, right? Yeah. So I went to the class, and I have not been the same. Yeah. When I went to that class, when I went to that class 3-4 years ago, when I say I have not been the same, it transformed me from the inside out. Yes. And I knew that our journey as women, as black women, was sexual, and also it was deep and in the core of our womb centers, because we were the mothers, we are the life givers, and we are the providers of the visions and the nutrients and the education and the so I knew that this thing went really deep, and I knew from the first day I went to that class at the Yoni Steen Institute that this was part of my life's calling. That's how I got started.
Yes, it is your calling.
So in healing myself is how I got started.
That is so wonderful. Well, let's go. Let's just make sure we cover the 3 topics. Oh my, you have just so many healing modalities here. It's just amazing. Can you just expound? Just tell us what you feel about fertility with women who are, trying to conceive and maybe having difficulty. What can you say about that?
Well, it's most definitely blockage. We know that there's blockage there. Yeah. Here in the West, what they teach us is to deal with all the symptoms. Okay. Yeah. They don't teach us to go to the core and to the root causes. There is a spiritual and metaphysical component to every illness. So we have to tap in to what is in the core. What is the point of origin in which I am not fertile right now? What belief systems do I hold about my own levels of abundance? Because fertility just isn't about children. It's about tapping in to your levels of joy, happiness, abundance, peace. As women, we are naturally fertile. In everything we touch, we multiply. Yeah. Okay? We get a man, we create a king. We have small children, we create adults. Right. Okay? We have a house, we create a home. Yes. So fertility is so deep. And if you're just always thinking about just the fertility of the reproduction of a child and not necessarily tapping into what else in your life is not reproducing that taps into your fertility. So those are things that we also need to look at. What's going on in your different bodies of consciousness and in your womb center to where you aren't fertile right now. You're not able to co-create and to multiply. Because I can guarantee you it's coming from the womb, but it's manifesting in other areas of your life. Yes. Yeah. So with fertility, with every issue, if I say it again, it's physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. All those bodies of consciousness need to be observed, okay, and identified when coming with a solution to help a woman to restore her health, rejuvenate her womb, and also find solutions in order to create a fertile womb and a fertile lifestyle.
So you would, if a client was coming to you with fertility issues, you would focus more on the emotional part first?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm talking
Yes, ma'am. Okay. I would focus on the emotional and the history. And I would ask some very personal questions. Yeah. I think one of the questions that I would ask is, how do they feel about sex?
Wow.
Being that sex is the engine in which we are created. As women, we stand in the middle. We are at the threshold. We stand between two worlds. We stand between the spirit world and we stand between the physical world. We are the mothership, okay? Sex is the generator and the engine in which spirit comes into our wombs, and we create that spirit and manifest it here on the earth in human form.
Okay.
So one of my questions would be, how do you feel about sex? Was there any sexual abuse? And we're going to have to get down with it. We're going to have to get real honest. We're going to have to pull back some of those layers. You know, and get them to really expressing themselves. What is your fear? You know, what is your view about sex? Do you fear it, or do you really like it? Do you find it pleasurable? You know, things like that. That matters. Yeah. You can't go into a relationship and want to be fertile and have issues with being sexual. Okay, then I would definitely check the diet. That's a big one. The diet. What are you consuming? What is your foods like? You know, I would offer a cleanse. First thing I would offer is a cleanse. Okay? Then I would definitely, but mostly tap into that emotional state. Mind, body, spirit.
Okay. And, okay, so I would like to ask you to speak on birth. What can, how, if someone is looking to conceive?
So the whole process itself is birth. From the gestation to the development, you know, mama and daddy are pregnant. You know, even though he's not carrying the child, you know, spiritually and emotionally, he's pregnant. And I'm sure in the Mother Goddess and Father God's great design of things, his body in his chemical makeup is having some type of alterations because he's pregnant. You know, however, I would definitely, first things I would do is find out again about her diet. Food plays such a big part in maintaining the body for healthy function of whatever it is you want to do. So that's the first thing I would get into, is I would get into her diet. And then from her diet, I would definitely get into what is her relationship with her mate. How does she feel about him? That's a big one. Because remember, we're dealing with mind, body, and spirit. So you definitely have to be connected to the relationship. If you want to birth something with this man, you have to be in alignment with him.
Yes.
You know, and I think we talked about that before.
Yes. And while someone is pregnant, how should they prepare to bring that life into the world?
Personally, I would think, okay, once again, food, okay, strong foods that help the blood. Also, prayer, meditation. Definitely get your vitamins in, all of your vitamins. Chlorophyll. I think chlorophyll is a big one as far as cleansing the blood and helping with the DNA structure of the child. Also, being at peace. Getting into the elements. Yeah. Tapping into the elements and understanding the elements. Talking to your child. Because the child is alive and moving and well and has a very big relationship with you, you know. So, yes, talking to your child. Most definitely having good thoughts, being around positive people, watching your environment, being very, protective of your environment. So all these things are helpful for maintaining a healthy pregnancy, and also prenatal care, of course. I personally would have loved to have a doula or a midwife. Unfortunately, I was caught up in the 80s where they were doing a lot of C-sections.
Yeah, still doing.
So I didn't get get a chance to have that connection with, pushing out my children.
Yeah.
So, but yes, definitely eating a nutritious diet, a balanced diet, making sure you're not at risk of anemia. Also, just being well balanced as far as your environment, and getting in protein, vitamin C, calcium, fruits and vegetables, iron-rich foods, chlorophyll, adequate fat. 3 participants that have been on fibroids release program. All of them were on their way scheduled to have surgery. Okay. One of them in particular just went in June to go see if she needed surgery, because they had, basically set her up for June 13th. You're going to come in, you're going to have surgery, this and that, but we're going to check you out before you have your surgery. When you come in on June 13th, we're going to go ahead and schedule it and that whole thing, right?
Right.
When she went in on June 13th, she said her fibroids were just about gone. Now, they were big as golf balls.
Really?
She said she had 4 fibroids. One of them was bigger than the golf ball, with a tennis ball, and then the other 3 was like golf balls. And she said that they were reduced, very much reduced in size. And because see, what happened was they gave her a bunch of medication and sent her home, and she didn't want to take the medication. She said something in her body told her, do not take that medication. She said she went looking online, and she found my website, and she called. So what I did is I started her on a high alkaline diet. I also included some herbal supplements, as well, oral herbal supplements, sweet yoni tea, yoni steaming, and some probiotics and chlorophyll. And she stayed on this regimen. I also sent meditations as well as spiritual baths and crystals. Okay. So
was this long distance or local?
This was long distance.
Wow.
This is long distance. Yes, ma'am. And so after about 3 months, the second month, she recognized that her periods weren't as painful. Okay, she said her periods were really painful. She was going through it. The second month, as she started the program, her periods weren't as painful. By the third month, she said she really didn't have no pain. However, she had some clotting and a smell that came. And at that point, I knew that the fibroids were releasing themselves from her womb.
Wow.
So all that pus, toxins, and mucus was coming out. Yeah. Okay. By the 4th, 5th month, she was good to go. And, of course, the 6th month, she went to the doctor. So, yeah, I'm really, really proud of the program. So I decided to go ahead and create an online program that would also help women to remove and also release the fibroids and help them heal themselves. Because fibroid symptoms are, a lot heavy menstrual bleeding, pelvic pressure, bloating, pain. In some cases, it's even, help. It's reproductive dysfunction. Right. So I have to say this: what I've learned about fibroids is that they are the result of unreleased, pent-up emotional trauma that a person have experienced at some point in their life. Okay, it's either one or multiple emotional trauma, and they're carrying it in their womb like a baby, because that's the womb's function. The womb's function is to create, okay? And since we store all of our emotions and all of our creativity and our intuition and all of our feelings in trauma in our womb, what is happening is the fibroids are attaching itself to the womb because it's trying to pass like a baby.
I'm so glad that you said that. You remember, you wasn't in the first yoni steam with me, but the sister was saying that the gynecologist was looking at the fibroids, or I guess over the sonogram or whatever, and was saying that they had teeth in them. and bone structure. And that's not only that was an OB in Atlanta. That's not the only person that I've heard say that. I mean I've read it and everything, but to get this really from the mouth of the person who actually saw it, said that it was looking really pretty much like a dead baby. So this is so deep about what you're saying. That's why I was like, y'all can't sleep on Tracey, boy. All right, okay, finish.
But this is what I've recognized, and when I work with our sisters, I find out about the trauma that they've been holding on to. Because I guarantee you. I said, how long have you had your fibroids? 5 years. I said, what happened in the last 7 years? Something traumatic happened to you. And we're gonna get to that right now. You see, and that's what I do. I get to the root, and we deal. Yes, we deal with that root, not the symptoms, not the pelvic pressure, not the menstrual bleeding. We deal with all that too, but that's not what I go to first. So see, while she's on her high alkaline diet and taking her herbal supplements and yoni steaming and drinking tea and taking her chlorophyll and doing meditations and getting her baths and stuff in, while she's dealing with her mind, body, and spirit healing, we get into the root causes of the problem, and we opening that thing up. And that's when they begin to release the fibroid.
And you can.
I can also do one-on-one. If you choose to do one-on-one and you want that personal healing touch, and hey, I understand. I'm here for you too. So, but if you want to, you have sisters who are also going through many of the same symptoms and who have had some of the same trauma. Okay. Now I need to say this to my sisters, those who are listening, those who will be listening after and listening to this recording. Something that I just can't quite wrap my head around is how many of our sisters, because this is predominantly African-American or African women, I want to say, women here of African descent or whatever we calling ourselves now, okay? I just want to say that we are the ones primarily with fibroids.
Yeah.
Okay? That stems from ancestral trauma as well. Okay, so not only are we dealing with our own trauma, trying to heal our own stuff, we have other stuff attached to us that we don't even know what the hell going on. And that's the stuff I get to too. I get to some of the ancestral stuff. I learn the history. I learn the womb story. What's the womb story? What's your womb story? What's your mother's womb story? Do you know your grandmother's womb story? Let me hear it. Because all of that plays a role in your womb health. But this part right here is what I can't wrap my head around. I've met sisters who have called me, come to me, and told me and shared with me that they've had fibroids for some years. But because they have no problems, they haven't addressed the issue of releasing and removing them and healing themselves. Oh, I've had fibroids for 4 years. They not no bigger than a peanut. Oh, girl, I ain't had no problems. I'm all right. Why would you want? Because you don't see it and feel it. See, it goes back to our relationships to our wombs. And this is a few women who actually are supposed to have a relationship with their womb. They're actually going through womb classes and courses. So this one lets me know that this thing runs real deep about how we feel about our yonis and our wombs. Because here you are, you've had fibroids for 4 years, and because you have no pain or no issue, you feel no pressure from that you'll consider keeping them. They're toxins, they're mucus, they're pus, they're nasty, and they're on your womb. And you would consider keeping them because they're not creating any problem for you. You wouldn't want to heal holistically and heal yourself and removing this foreign entity, pus-filled mucus entity from your womb, and it has no healthy value in your life. That's the part that gets me. So it goes back to our relationship to our womb and what we've been taught and how we feel about her. Because the only times we really are concerned and pay any attention to our womb is when we're having sex, having babies, pregnant, or in pain.
That's so true. Yeah, that is so true.
Hello?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay, now going back to what I was saying, that the only times we have been conditioned and taught to pay attention to our womb is when we are either having sex, childbirth, pregnancy, or pain.
Right.
You know, or some type of foreign smell or something. That's the only times we are taught. But we have this thing, you know, you have a lot of women walking around here with fibroids and literally doing nothing about it. And that part right there, I just don't understand. Why? And you know, Sarah said something Sarah Soday said something very important the other day. She created a post and said, it is so much better to have a method of preventive health with your womb other than having her removed.
Oh, well, yeah. That's deep, important, and true.
Yes. It's just, so it goes back to what we feel about ourselves and what we feel, what we've been taught about our womb.
Can you tell me a little bit as far as like the benefits of getting the yoni steam? How often do you feel that one should get it?
Well, depending on what kind of yoni steam, womb issues you may be having, womb challenges.
Right.
If you are dealing with fibroids and, polycystic, ovarian, cysts, that whole piece, if you're dealing with any type of, bacterial infections, and if you have issues of irregular menstruation, I would suggest doing it twice a month.
You say you suggest doing it how often?
Twice a month. You're only steaming twice a month.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Also, if you're dealing with fertility and you want to, create that baby, yoni steaming, can actually help to bring your womb back in proper balance so you can become fertile. But that also goes along again, like I said, with diet and mindset, your emotional state and your mindset. Yes.
Okay. And you do long distance Reiki, right?
I've done some. I've done a lot of cord cutting. That's a big one.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am. That's a big one, especially when dealing with different relationships and coming out of toxic relationships and abusive relationships. Yeah, I do cord cutting.
Okay. You got a lot going on here. So you got so many talents. What can you just say to us? I know you said so much though. Like what is your advice just to the natural woman, just to women today? Like, just a short, brief, overall advice to us, period. It doesn't have to be on any type of subject. I just want to hear from your wisdom.
When you're making your list of things to do, put you at the top.
Oh my. All right.
Do
that's
you?
Good. That's good.
Yes.
That's good. Oh, that's good. Oh my God.
When you giving out that love, make sure you give some to yourself.
Oh.
You cannot give from an empty cup, and we have a habit of giving away our portion and being very disappointed because somebody else won't refill us.
That is
Do you? Do you? Because when mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. I'm just doing the work. So I'm being guided. Really, it's not even me, sis. I'm just a vessel.
I see.
It's not me. It's higher beings that are instructing me on where to go, where to step, who to connect with, what to do. You know, and I tap in and I trust that. I trust that voice. I trust those voices. You know, I tap in. Be great because I'm dealing with great spiritual advisors. And I've connected myself with beautiful teachers and masters. And I will always be a student to this because my clients, and I like to call them soul clients, because I'm not for everybody, and everybody's not for me. But my soul clients, they teach me as well. You know, they help me to be better because when they come to me with a challenge I may not have tapped into or dealt with, that means I have to go what? I got to go research. I got to go find out what herbs need to go with this, what probiotics need to go with this, what foods I need to, what meditations, what spirit work we have to do. So, my soul clients make me better.
There's a lot of women out here who are single. I wanted to know, like, what can you say to the woman who is single and who's looking or who wants, that love? Because I remember you saying that you have not given up on love. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, whoa. You was like in your face. Like, I mean, it was like, ooh, she got a man. She got, like, it's real, So, that sometimes we're single for a long time and we really want the right one. Like, what can you say about that?
Well, I need to tell you that I took a hiatus from sex and intimate relationship. Yes, ma'am. Almost 5 years. And I'm gonna be honest with you. That last year, it wasn't easy. I was climbing the walls. That last year, but that was because my soul was ready. That's what was happening with that. But for those 5 years, what I did is I did a whole lot of work. I peeled back those layers, and I got real with myself. I got real in the shadows, and I went to them dark places and dealt with them issues that was in them corners and them crevices hiding. I actually went back and went and retrieved that little girl I left years ago who was scared, shaking in the corner because I left her to go be grown and forget about what they had done to her as she was little and the lies they fed her and the conditioning and the sexual abuse and all that went with her life. I went back and retrieved her. And I helped to heal the little girl. And in healing the little girl and dealing with my issues, dealing with my shit, because that's what I call it and that's what I tell my soul clients, deal with your shit. Clean your shit. Yeah, clean it. It stinks. Clean it. Nobody want to smell that shit with you. Clean it. Come on, let's go. So, but you got to go through the process, and that's what I chose to do. Now, I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect and I'm all healed and stuff because this is a day-to-day measure, honey.
Yes.
This is a day-to-day measure, and I'm constantly finding out new things about myself. So, but what I did do was, like I said, that last year, my soul was ready. And I knew at the space and place I was after that 5-year hiatus that I wasn't going to be able to excel, propel, or accelerate to my next level of healing if I didn't have male energy.
Wow.
I needed to be balanced. And I'm not just talking about balance, just having a man. I ain't talking about our mother's Betty Wright stuff. Oh, that man better than no man at all. See, we got to cut that. Ain't no. Like that saying go, you can do bad by yourself. So I need to tell my sisters, for one, you got to have standards and you got to hold on to them. If you say you want what you want and you like what you like, don't reduce yourself. Don't reduce yourself. Stand firm on your square. and know that you are worthy. And if you stand firm on that square, and if you continue, like I said, to do you, love you, guess what? You're going to attract the love that's you, that you deserve. Because your man is basically a male representation and reflection of you, and you are his female representation and reflection of him. So if you have connected with someone and you don't see your reflection in a good light, and that person don't bring you value, don't you reduce yourself and step down in order just to say you in a relationship. But hey, I can't, if you're not through with your karmic debt, then shit, you probably gonna go through a few more.
Oh. So did you know like immediately? Was it all? Did you know immediately? It took some time. Were you skeptical?
Oh no, it was immediate.
I know that's right.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna tell you how this shit went. We was 2 years later, right? We met on August 11th. August 13th, we spoke for the first time. Like spoke on the phone, ear to ear. Soon as I heard the tone of his voice, sister, the tone, it connected with a combination to my heart. So, and that's what it is. A brother that is for you will fill you up and start connecting to your combination. And I'm not talking about that lock and key combination. I'm talking about one of them ones you dial and go and then it hit click, click. That's what I'm talking about. So from on August 13th, when me and that brother spoke, we've been inseparable ever since. We've been together every day ever since.
Yes. That is so beautiful. Oh, my God.
We knew we loved each other in 5 days and told each other and made plans from that day to be together because he was in Atlanta and I was in Louisiana.
Oh.
Yeah, it was one of them old school elder ancestors, how the grandmas and grandpas seen each other and say, use mine now, we goes together. And they went and had 13 kids and went off and lived and grew old together. It's one of them. That's how we know it's ancestor approved.
Ooh. That's a good testimony. I really hope that encourages women who are single to not, give out and just wait on the right one.
Yeah, but, keep believing in love. Don't give up on love. You've been hurt. I've been hurt. I got 4 T-shirts from 2 men, 2 from one and 2 from another. Look.
And you got some beautiful children, and your mom was beautiful.
Thank you. But I've been through it. I know the hurt and the pain. My heart's been drugged through the mud. It's been stomped on. You know what I'm saying? I was in 2 very abusive relationships. And it was a time where I didn't think I deserved and was worthy because of what I had been through. But I said, that's a lie. I have to love myself enough to know how beautiful I am, that I deserve someone who thought I was just as beautiful, if not more. Yeah. So it goes back to our self-worth.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Well, we're going to end this call.
Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment. Let us know, what did you think about this video?